Moving to Indianapolis? Great, you've come to the right place. I'm gonna make it super easy for you. I'm gonna give you a checklist in this video on how to make your move to Indianapolis super simple and super successful. But before we get into that, leave a like on this video, hit the subscribe button, and ring the notification bell so that you're kept in the loop on everything happening in and around Indianapolis, the Circle City that we love and call home, and you're about to call home too. All right, let's get into it. All right, let's face facts. Moving is the worst. Moving is among the most stressful moments of anyone's life. There's a lot of money involved. There's a lot of logistics involved. So whether you're relocating here for work, because you want to, or any other reason, hey, I am here with you. I've moved a few times myself. I know exactly how it feels. It's terrible picking up your whole house and getting it over here. But the whole process doesn't have to be bad. Let's make it easy for you. So, number one item on our checklist. If you're moving here from somewhere else, whether it's somewhere else in Indiana or somewhere else across the country or the world, you need to understand the different areas. So, I'd love to give you some homework and check out all the videos on this channel so you can understand the different vibes, the different dynamics, all the different suburbs around Indianapolis and the city itself. But to save you some time, you don't necessarily have to do that. You can just talk to me. So what I would recommend starting out with, number one on your checklist, is let's talk. You need someone who is here. I live in Indianapolis. There's a lot of other realtors, some on YouTube who don't even live in Indianapolis who talk about it. But I live here. I know the vibe. I know these areas. I work in all of them. Let's talk about what your individual needs are. Are you working downtown? Well, some of the suburbs or some of the parts of the city are going to make it easier for you to get to your job and get back, depending on time of day, where you're working, than other ones. Are you working, on the north side, south side? Let's talk about the different communities there. Really, depending on what your lifestyle is, what you like, what you dislike, there are different communities and different even cities around Indianapolis that could be great fits for you, and others that might just give you fits. So let's talk about it. Number one, stop what you're doing right now. Check out my contact information. You can even scan a QR code, whatever's easiest to you. Let's get into it. Let's talk one-on-one on a Zoom. And if you don't feel comfortable with that, just shoot me a text message or an email. It's totally fine. I'm here for you, whatever you need. But if you're relocating, that's where you got to start. You got to know where you're moving to before you just jump in and move. If the timeline's quick, hey, let's do it quick. If the timeline's long, that's fine too. All right, number one, know where you're moving to. Let's talk about number two, the home search. All right, most people want to get out right away and just start looking at homes. A lot of people will hop on Zillow and they get all hopped up on different listings on Zillow. Sometimes they're furtively looking at Zillow late night on their couch, looking over their shoulder, so no one's looking at how many home listings they're looking at. Hey, you don't need to do that. After we talk through kind of the different areas, first of all, we'll get a custom search set up that ideally suits what you're looking for, that matches what we talk through. And then what you can do is work with me, your agent, and we will talk through the different real estate options. So depending on what you want, if you want new construction, there's move-in ready new construction homes. Let's talk about McCordsville. Let's talk about Westfield. Let's talk about Franklin Township. Let's talk about different areas along the west side. And there are even some areas in Indianapolis. If you want existing construction, let's talk about the style of home. And all of that's great, and it's very exciting. But before you get into that, you have to do something really boring first. And I can't recommend it highly enough to start here. So you want to know where you're moving to. That's step one, right? Step two, you really need to get your financing in place. So if you're going to get a mortgage on this home, which the majority of people are going to, they're not just going to drop hundreds of thousands of dollars in cash. Some people do, and that makes moving very easy. But if you're not in that position to do that, you need to get your pre-approval in place. So if you have a lender partner that you love and you love your bank or your mortgage company or whatever, that's awesome. If you don't know anybody in that space and you're like, I don't want to deal with mortgages, I'm a normal person and I don't like my mortgage any more than anyone else. Well, that's fine, because I work with a lot of different partners who are really experienced in the mortgage space and can help get you the best deal. And even if you're looking at new construction, a lot of people, they just start visiting the communities before ever talking to someone, and that's just a mistake. If you do that, builders are going to cut you off from having any representation of your own because they don't want to pay for you to have representation. In most cases, builders will cover a lot to most to sometimes even all of your buyer agency fee, I should say. It's not just for your agents, for the whole apparatus behind them. So you don't want to miss out on that. If you're thinking about new construction when you move, connect with me. Let's talk through it. And the cool thing about new construction is they have their own lender partners who can get you sweet deals on, their community. They have, a lot of times they'll have multiple partners to not just, steer you to one partner, but give you options that can give you different types of deals. And you can have them compete and look at what's ultimately going to work the best for you. And, whether it's down payment assistance, maybe it's a buy down or a lower rate. I know it's so boring to talk about the financing side of things, but basically what you need to do it first. Get your pre-approval and understand what your realistic budget is and what's going to fit your lifestyle. So now we know the areas and we know our budget. We have our search set up and we're looking in all the houses now. So if you're relocating to Indianapolis, now would be the time after we have all this set up, you're ready, you've got everything in place, you're not opening up new loans or credit cards or anything crazy that's going to mess with your credit. You're not doing that, right? You're not going to mess with your credit while buying a house. Some people do that and it has cost them. So be careful. Definitely talk with your lender about anything financial, but be very careful when you're looking to take on a lot of new debt with trying to open new debt while you're applying for it. Anyway, now it's time for us to look at homes. So we're going to work together and we're going to set up tours. You don't want to just go out and look at one house. That's a waste of your time. You want to be able to compare different places. So let's say you want to move to downtown Indy. That's great. Let's look at a number of different places around downtown Indy, according to the budget, according to the areas that we identified that are going to suit, what you want from a lifestyle perspective, what you want from a financial perspective, what you want from a vibes perspective. Let's say you want to live in Westfield. Okay, are you interested in new construction, existing construction? How many beds and baths? Those are the houses we're going to look at, and we're going to compare and identify what features matter the most to you. Maybe it's lot size. There are a lot of new build homes that have really tiny little lots, but existing homes that have been updated that have huge lots, especially in Indianapolis. So that's what we're going to identify. We're going to do tours. So if you're coming in from out of town, maybe you're coming from New York, maybe you're coming up from Texas, wherever you're coming from. A lot of people are coming from Illinois and Ohio. Let's make your time count. You don't want to waste your time here going around to a bunch of random houses. We're going to get a firm action plan in place so that we can look at houses that are going to be the best fit for you. All right, let's review. We have talked together, so we are on the same page. I'm in your corner. I am ready to work on your behalf. Number 2, we built your team out. We've got your financing in place. We know what our max is, what we're going to go up to, what we're able to work within, and we know what those terms are going to look like, generally speaking. All right, number 3, and we've gone out on our tours. Number 4 is we are going to find the house. Once you have identified your dream home, you feel all the vibes, you love it, it is the perfect place for you and your family. That is when we're going to offer on it. You've already got your pre-approval in place. Your financing is in good shape. So now we're ready to offer on it. This is a good time to be a buyer in Indianapolis. We've had a real shortage of buyers over the last year or two here as rates have been a little bit higher. They've been coming down a lot lately. And I think they're actually at their lowest in like 3 years for 30-year traditional mortgages. But that being said, it's a good time to move here because you have a lot of power as a buyer. So you have your pick of different options around the city. There may not be as much inventory on the market as there was in like 2020, 2021. There's a lot less competition. So you can get favorable terms. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to put in your offer. We're going to negotiate and get you under contract. Once you're under contract, depending on what we're doing, whether it's new construction, whether it's existing construction, it's all good. From there, you move into inspection, where we're going to see what's wrong with the house, if there's anything, and look to ask for concessions from the seller to make sure everything's shipshape and ready for you to move in, because you don't want to move in with a bunch of problems, and the seller doesn't want to sell it with a bunch of problems. Having good negotiations and work across different parties there can really make sure everyone's in the best shape. Then we have appraisal as well. The lending company wants to make sure that they're helping you buy an asset that is going to be commensurate with the value that they're loaning out. So that's what the appraisal's for. And after all the steps of the transaction process are done, that's when we get into moving. And we want to make moving as simple as possible. So we're going to coordinate together on what kind of date works for you to move, what kind of time, how should we close, and that's going to depend on your individual situation. Some people are contingent upon their home sale where they're moving from in order to move. In a lot of cases, you might have a double closing there. Some people are not, and their house might already be empty and they're living in a temporary situation. If that's your situation, that's fine. If you want to look for something short term, we can look at a rental for a few months and then move into your dream home after that. Or you may be renting where you are already and have your house sold and you have your equity unlocked and you're ready to go. Whatever the case is fine. And I'm going to be flexible and work with you on that. So it's moving time. Make it easy. Get your moving company in place. We work with different partners in that space as well, and I can make some recommendations there. But if you have someone that you like, that works as well, or maybe you want to do it all yourself, depending on how young and spry you are, and maybe you're super strong. Hey, to each their own. For me, I need some help with the movers. That's basically your checklist. It's that simple because I'm going to make it simple for you. I don't want you to have any stress. The vibes here in Indianapolis are great. The surrounding areas are great. If you haven't seen our vibe check video, check that out next. If you want to explore other videos on this channel, I highly recommend it. If you're moving here, you really need to understand this area where you're moving to. So the best way to do that, connect with me one-on-one. Check out the information below, schedule a Zoom with me. We don't have to talk that long. I'm not going to scare you away. I'm just going to ask you some questions on, what you're looking for. What kind of home are you interested in? So let's make it easy. Let's make it simple. If you liked this video, if this checklist was helpful for you, because we're going to make moving to Indianapolis simple, then leave a like on this video. Hit the subscribe button and ring the notification bell so that you're kept in the loop on everything happening in and around Indianapolis, the Circle City that we love and call home. We'll be back with more area content, more new build content, and everything you could ever want here in Indianapolis. All right, let's talk together. I'll see you then.